Whenever you guys are ready.
About 11. Recording?
Yep, ready when you are.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the April 16th, 2025 Sweet Home Park and Tree Committee meeting. At this time, could we please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sorry about the 11 o'clock thing. It gets me when I walk into a restaurant and they tell me to sit wherever I want, and I want to ask them, can I sit in the kitchen? Kind of like the road signs they put up, be prepared to stop. It's like, if you weren't prepared to stop when you left the house, you were in trouble. So anyways, it's just a weird way my brain works. Could we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Nancy Patton. Make sure you guys have your microphones in your face so I
Here.
can hear you. Thank you. Deborah Northern,
Here.
Bob Dalton,
Here.
Wally Shreves,
Here.
Whoa.
Lena Tucker,
Present.
Matthew Bechtel,
Present.
and Scott Swanson.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you all.
And can you, Amber, can you tell me who else is in the room as far as staff when we get done? Just send me an email.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. I don't believe we've done anything in the last month for time reports that I recall of anybody running around and about. So, but if you do have a time report, please email that to Angela so she has a hard copy of it. Just in case something crashes somewhere down the road, we still have an electronic version of it. Please review the meeting minutes, and I'll need a motion to approve in a second.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Meeting minutes for March 2025 have been approved. And let's move on to a public comment. Anybody online out there?
Me.
Well, that's one more than we've had most years. All right. Well, if anybody hears of a public comment, feel free to bring it here. I read a bunch of them on Facebook, but they're all positive. All right. How about a beautification committee update?
Did you go, Bob?
No, I did not.
I didn't make it either.
Well, Ashley went, but she's in Virgin Islands right now, so she can't give it, but this is their schedule.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, I
so-
think Amber gave you guys a copy of the email that Rebecca sent out with the schedule, so.
Yep.
We are planning to do all the weeding and put soil in, I believe, next Tuesday, and then subsequently, I think a couple weeks after that, we could pick up the flowers, which that's already been ordered. And then planting is already scheduled, which with the dates that you have. So,
Yep. So May 13th, please make sure that day's clear on your schedule.
and they need volunteers.
Yes.
We had 4 people last time. So, we helped a lot with that, but we need volunteers. So.
The New Era is going to do a story about the need for volunteers.
So,
It's an evergreen story, which means that other things have pushed it out of the way, but it'll get in.
So I think they're going to have a table as
They
well
are.
at the, so, yeah.
Arbor Day, they're gonna, have a table there.
Okay. Well, it's nice having the schedule because that'll help us see what's going on. And I've already got May 13th in my calendar. Make sure I'm down there. So. All right. Let's say we talk about Arbor Day and Kid to Park Day. So a couple things, Pacific, I don't know if this came out since the last meeting or not. I didn't read the minutes. Pacific Power has agreed to participate in our Arbor Day event. They're going to come in and talk about, down trees, down power lines, what to plant, what not to plant under power lines. So that'll be nice having that there. Their logo was on our flyer now. So I think it's time for us to get some flyers out.
Yay.
So is that something we can pick up pretty soon and start posting flyers different places?
I'm with them.
Amber, can we get some after the meeting?
I can email you, Amber, and then if
Okay.
you want to just make copies.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yep. Because it's getting close, maybe 10
Yeah.
days. Just thought I'd mention that. So we should get started on it. So for the Arbor Day event, we as a committee will start off at 11 in the morning in the park, removing some of the ivy from the trees. They're on the hillside. I have one strong young man that's going to come and help. So if anybody else has a person that would like to help just pull ivy, that'd be great. There's not much. I don't think it's going to take us 45 minutes at the most. So, that sound right, Sean? From the hillside, there's not a bunch there. Yeah.
We
Yep.
could start a little bit early and go down South Hills Trail.
I don't want to get us all filthy.
Oh, true.
That was the thought process. We'll do something in the park that day.
Okay.
Acquire some work hours and show something to the people that arrive that I'll make sure that we mention that this is what we did in the morning to
Okay.
kind of promote, the doing part, the giving back to the public. So I thought that was kind of an important part of it, so we can express what we do and how we feel about the park,
I agree.
more than just talk about it. So, and then we'll kick off the event. So Nancy, have you been able to secure or get approval to use the big tic-tac-toe
Yeah,
game?
yep.
Yep. So we've got the big tic-tac-toe game. I talked to you guys last month about using the cornhole game. So we'll have that set up. Yeah.
The parachute?
Yep, and the parachute, pretty much everything we had last time. Bring that back. The one thing that I don't have a handle on are frisbees.
I was gonna say, we store those?
Do you remember
Do you know if we stored those,
frisbees?
the frisbees? There's a box of them.
I don't know. I'll have to look behind my desk. There's a bunch of totes and stuff, but I don't recall seeing frisbees in them.
I thought we
But
did.
it's all park and tree stuff is behind my desk, but I don't remember frisbees. But when I get back tomorrow morning, I'll take a look and let you know.
Angela,
Okay.
Didn't
Yeah.
we go out back, last year and get them out of the shed back there? Like the games, some of the games?
I'll admit, I don't remember. I'll have to go
Okay.
back and look.
Don't you
I'll
remember?
do that
We
tomorrow.
did, we did,
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
we did.
so that's probably where your frisbees are.
You had the big buckets,
Big what?
the buckets,
Yeah.
throw.
Yeah, I've got some,
Pins.
yeah, we used a trash can with T-posts and I don't think the T-post helped any. People were just shooting for the thing. So
Yeah.
I think we'll skip the T-posts and just go with the wheelbarrow and large devices. I believe you brought.
Do you want some more of the big
Yeah, Yep.
tubs? for
yeah.
lack of
And we'll
better-
get it set up. Yes,
tub.
I guess I'm lying. We're gonna have to use the T-post because there gotta be some way to number them. Unless we just hang it on the side.
That or some stakes with little ribbons on them or something by them.
Yeah,
Easy to put in.
yeah. I'll take a look at the house. I've got fiberglass fencing stakes
Hmm.
also. Sometimes those don't go on the ground well and sometimes they do and leave your fingers full of splinters afterwards. Because mine are new, about 8 years ago.
What time do you want to stage to set up our, our booth tables, the courses, the games?
My assumption is that we'll come in at 11, remove the ivy, and then last year we started at 12 to get ready for 2.
Okay,
So we'll
gotcha.
be there and then just move from ivy cleanup to park setup and go from there.
Okay.
Unless somebody sees a problem with that. That was just a thought process.
Easy ups, tables, chairs, that's already been considered on our end.
Yep.
So, okay.
And when we
I'll touch base with you guys about how many you're gonna need. I guess it'll kind of depend on weather too, but I'll touch base as it gets a little bit closer so we can make sure to get enough supplies there.
Yep. Wind will be a problem Saturday. There will be breezy, so we need to make sure we're covered with something to hold down the easy ups. And it is possible we'll get a light shower, but that's
Oh
it.
my gosh.
So
Mm.
It's
not a rain, just a light shower.
That's not what you told us last time.
Huh?
You said sun last time.
No, I said I wasn't
Yeah.
really positive.
Aaron, he's our weatherman.
Yeah.
Has been for a long time.
I guarantee there will be breeze. So
So when I think about setup, should we get a table and a pop-up for Pacific Power? Or do they bring their own? Do you
they'll
know?
bring their own.
They'll bring their
And I'll
own.
double check that with the guy today.
So then
I was
a
gonna say, we
pop-up-
can bring one just to have as backup if we need to.
And the beautification committee, I thought they were going to join us.
They want to be next to us.
So maybe, enough table space for us to have a table with our information, including the recycling information, Adam, which should be in the clear tote, Angela. I can either come in next week and go through and grab that stuff if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
And it was discussed and they have a timetable for, I think Candy's going to be just a little bit late, but somebody else was going to come in and
Okay.
kind of help with the setup. So we'll support that side of that.
Okay.
Ashley will be here. She'll have a jet lag, but she'll be here.
Good. And then again, we'll do the hot dogs and drinks. So I'll pick up the hot dogs and buns from Costco with the condiments that goes with it. So I'll bring my big extension cord. I'm sure we can find a place to plug in then Saturday. We'll get that set up and go from there. I'm assuming there'll be more people based off last year.
Free food. over
Yeah.
there.
Hot dogs was a draw.
Yeah. I can't get my kids to eat hot dogs and yet we couldn't, I mean, they were gone. So that was a big seller.
You had
Did
food
you get the
handling,
Hebrew
right?
hot dogs?
What's that?
Did you get the Hebrew hot dogs?
No, I bought the Costco.
Yeah, because I always serve those and they're cheap at Costco too, by
Yeah.
the way, 4 in a package. Anyway, people, once you say it's the Hebrew hot dogs, they'll eat it. The other hot dogs is that.
I'll bring the other hot dogs and call
You
them
don't have no
Hebrew.
taste, does it?
Yeah.
So
Nice
just because I
dinner.
call them that, I never said they were. So just saying. Anyways, no, I'm joking. Yeah, so that'll take care of the food part. The drinks, did you bring a cooler of lemonade? Is that what we did last year?
I could.
If
I
we,
did. I don't remember if I did or I didn't, but I could.
yeah,
Lemonade's easy to make.
Yeah, my, maybe I'll buy one. My cooler's not for public use anymore. I used it for baseball for years and
Not looking good.
it's ugly.
I have one that has a spout on it, so I'll bring it.
Yeah, yeah, if we
Yeah.
could do that. And then,
Huh?
You had this big old thing.
I need to replace mine, so I'll buy one for water, just so
So-
we have a water one
So
there.
Wally, when you go to, never mind, I'll pick it up at Costco, because they have the big thing of lemonade at Costco for 9 something, less than
Okay.
$10.
Yeah,
Get a couple of those.
yeah,
Do you want me to do it or you want to?
I can pick it up while I'm there.
Okay. And ice.
And ice,
Ice.
okay, we'll get ice locally. Oh,
We have ice.
oh,
We have an ice machine down at Public Works, so
Oh.
maybe we can load up an ice chest with some
Wow.
ice.
okay,
Sweet.
that'd be great.
Nice.
Then we need cups.
I have cups.
Okay.
I have way too many cups.
I have cups left over from Harvest Festival also, so if we need more, let me know.
Okay,
Do you have napkins and the little tray? Little
oh,
hot
trays,
dog
I forgot.
basket?
We got the little trays last year. You had them left over from something, Angela.
The
The
little,
hot dog trays.
Yes. Are you talking about like the,
The little boat that the hot
Buckets?
dog sits in.
the little boats for serving.
oh, the boats
individual.
you put them in? No, I don't have any more of those, so we'll have to get some more.
Okay,
Where have I seen
Costco
those?
doesn't have those.
no,
I've looked.
I mean, does it have to be the boats if I can find something similar?
no.
No, it's not
no,
okay to have
no,
something
no,
similar.
It doesn't have to be the boats.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to imagine those things are dirt cheap off Amazon.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
147% tariff on them now, though. They might be a little higher.
Just go to McDonald's.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to get boats and lemonade. I know the rest of it, I think. I still have a whole condiment pack left from last year. We didn't use. People didn't use the relish. I was surprised.
They're playing Janers here.
Yeah. Yeah. On the East Coast, they would have been gone.
Yeah.
So please, everyone, think back through last year and what else are we missing?
You want me to hit buy 300 pieces hot dog trays?
Yeah.
$13.99.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we got them. We got boats. That way kids have something to float down the stream then afterwards. Throw rocks and sticks at.
Thanks for
Okay.
throwing that out there, Wally. Thanks for that.
All right, I will buy the hot dog.
I just know what kids do.
Wally, do you need an extra crock pot? I know you bring yours.
No, I have like 5.
Okay.
And I bought a much bigger one than I had last year since then, so I think I can fit a couple hundred hot dogs in it. So we should be good.
Gloves. I have gloves.
Oh, good.
I still have some from Harvest Festival, so I can get them out of the totes.
Okay,
Tongs to hold the dogs out of the crock pot.
I have that.
Okay.
I'd say I have a bunch of those too, if you need them.
Yep. No, I have tongs.
Individual waters,
A what?
water, individual for us to drink.
I was gonna bring a cooler of water,
Okay,
so we'll have cups.
excellent. Don't need the cups, but would love to have the water.
Yep. And it'll be, it's good farm water from a well, no
No
contaminants in
fluoride or nothing.
Easy there.
it.
Easy.
Settle down, Wally.
Sorry, I've been traveling a bunch and I've actually been drinking city water in different places and it's just the chlorine flavor of it is horrible to me. So I like, oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I actually I was thinking about all the places I've been that was not good that I thought, wow, it should have been good. Like in Colorado, up in the mountains, Rocky Mountain High. They must have been working at the water plant that way because it was not good. Yeah.
Like
So,
all those ski resorts, it wasn't good.
no, it wasn't.
Hmm.
So,
Maybe a little email round robin next week just to make sure we have everything.
yeah,
Do what?
How about I compile a list of everything everybody said they were bringing, and then I'll send it out to everybody
Yep.
so we can just confirm if that works.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
that'll
Okay.
work.
Uh-huh.
Yep. In fact, I'm going to Costco after this, so
Okay.
I'll pick up the stuff so I know I'll have it before then. I might need somebody to go with me because I still have, I think, 48 hot dog buns from last year.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I got way too many hot dog buns compared to
Yeah.
hot dogs. I don't know how I messed that math up standing there. I'm going to throw them away. They've been in the freezer for a year.
Good idea.
You have chickens?
Chicken food.
Oh, I don't have chickens. Okay. Anything else for Arbor Day? So, will Jason be available for Arbor Day?
Yes, he confirmed to me that he will be there.
Okay. And Susan?
But I don't know. He did say that he's happy to allow you to read the proclamation. So if you want to continue to do that.
No
So,
problem.
but he said he will be there.
Okay, good.
And I will
think-
check with the mayor and see if she plans to be there.
Good.
And Aaron, you'll be there?
The just so everyone's aware, that same Saturday is the meet of champions for the track meet. So there will be a lot of people that will be over there. Luckily, our stuff is later in the day, so many events will have completed and people will feed over that direction.
It runs till about 3 p.m., 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It starts at 10, I think.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was our only conflict that I know of for the day.
It's a little bit of a conflict for me, but I'll work something out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody comes up with something else, please get a message out that, something we've missed or we didn't think of. I think we'll be sitting pretty good again. Again, this is our 37th year.
38.
38. I was gonna say 38.
Mhm.
Okay. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Tree City of the Year. Or Tree City USA. Yeah.
Yep.
So a lot of that work goes to Public Works for the work that they do, keeping the place cleaned up,
Yes, it does.
organized, managing trees, keeping things watered.
Yep, you guys do a great job.
Yep. So going back a bit in time, 2 years ago, when we planted the trees up at Evergreen, has anybody taken a look at those now that I see buds popping on all my trees? Are they?
Yeah, they're starting to bud out.
Oh, good.
We're gonna be mowing up there today, so I'll take another closer look.
Okay. I know that 2 of them looked pretty rough at the end of last year. So I just didn't get a chance to get back up and look at them just yet.
We pruned them last fall, so we'll kind of keep an eye on their shape and how they look this summer. But those Leyland cypress along the fence, man, those are growing like crazy.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to Sankey Park Phase 3 update. Engineering is much cheaper now, right? 'Cause it's a month
No.
later.
I don't really have an update. There really hasn't been any changes. We are still working on the engineering drawings with the funding. We're still working out options. So as of right now, I don't have an update other than what we already talked about last meeting. So as soon as there's some changes, I will let you know, but we are still working hard on all those factions to bring them all together so we can get moving. So that's about
Okay.
the only update I have right now.
All right. I'll move on to Weddell Bridge. I actually got something done. A person from the committee that did the bridge in Mill City and all the rest of the work actually reached out to me a couple
Yay.
weeks ago.
Good.
Good deal.
So I've talked to her twice now, and we're trying to coordinate a time to communicate, because I have this ability to call her about 5 minutes before she walks into a meeting. So, but she's very motivated to feed all the information of what they did, how they did it. So that'll be good information for us to use to move forward with developing some funding for that. And I think Nancy got some update
I did.
on
I went
possible funding.
and talked to somebody from the Jamboree office, Shedig. So this is exactly what they said. Number one, that first off, they said they would love to give money, but for the last couple of years, they've spent like $30,000 for those temporary bridges. And that money could have gone towards Weddle Bridge. They want to know who the general contractor is, how much money is it going to cost, who is reaching out to the donors, what is the timeline for the project, both beginning and completing expected dates. So they want to be on board. And I've told you guys before about Bucks Sanitation, good friends of mine, and they said they would give to the bridge before anything else. So there's people that want to do stuff. We just have to have a plan.
Yeah, so I think at this point, all we know is really what's wrong with the bridge, correct, Greg?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and
from a
there's some,
high up. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead,
Andrew.
Greg.
No, please.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think you and I were gonna say the exact same thing. I mean, right now, we have the list of things that are wrong with it. It's a matter of hiring an engineer. There's some steps that have to be taken. I wish we could just say we could fix the, the floor of it and just move on. But from everything we have, well, and Greg can correct me if I'm wrong, but from everything that I understand, bridges like that have to be fixed from the top down, not from the bottom up. And so we need to get some people on board to figure out what those steps are, because I would hate to go in and fix some things and we have to rip them out because some other things needed to get done first. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And like I said, we're trying to move forward. We've got Sankey Park Phase 3 is definitely higher up on the list than the Weddle Bridge right now, because that's something that's already in progress. But we are not forgetting about this, and there's very few engineers that specialize in this bridge repair. And then to go back and to kind of address a comment that the Jamboree made about the bridges, well, they have to, it's their choice to construct those temporary bridges. They can go around. There is a way to get around there, but they asked to construct the bridges. So, we just can't have all of the vehicles going across the bridge for right now. So that was the option that they chose. And it's just going to have to be an option until we can get this figured out. It's, like I said, we came in with the engineering costs for Sankey Park Phase 3, what happens to be like 3 times the amount that we had budgeted for. So, and being a specialized engineer for the bridges, I can't say whether it's going to be more or less, but we're still working on that. So anyway, Greg, you can correct me or add anything to that.
No, that's just about it. I think, it's got to be reassembled to have the floor fixed before and reattach it. So that roof's got to come off. All the suspension that's all tied together. So it's going to be extensive labor to get that floor done and redone. And so we need to make sure that when we're ready to go, that we do have a plan, but we also have funding too. And I believe it's going to be a lot more expensive, because when you tear everything out, you're going to start seeing a lot of other things that potentially you can see visually from the exterior, from underneath. So, there's always that side of it too.
So, should we actually consider the correct statement? Would be a complete rebuild of the bridge. If you're taking the roof off and all your structural supports removed, you're not going to have much left.
Yeah, there's a lot of wood rot through it that was identified in the report, and which are some of the side structures or the cross beams. So if you're taking it apart, I mean, we have a big community here with timber. I'm sure timber wouldn't be a hard thing to get, certain size logs or cut beams and things like that. I think we would get a lot of support that way, but it would, a lot of it, once we start tearing it apart and start looking under that paint, it would probably be a good idea to replace a lot of that. So,
That would be interesting if we could get a local logging place to help support that with the timber part, as you mentioned. Because that would make a big difference, I would assume, in cost, other than we're just down to labor. Sound right?
And engineering.
And roofing.
yeah, and who does it, right? We
Yeah.
just don't walk through the yellow pages and say, hey, I'm going to go find a wooden bridge contractor. I mean, there's a few people that do this, and so we would have to, it's a specialized job as well, right? So cost could be, reflective of that as well.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't
so
think-
Wally, with your contact with the Mill City, you could, how about their engineer?
Yeah, I'll find out everything from them and what they did, how they did it. What I want to do is Lena and I were going to go up and talk to them. So I'm going to try to set it up with Linda of a time when we can go up, because she'll think of things I won't think of and keep me from saying things I shouldn't. Probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in that report as well, right? You've also got Lynn County, who does a lot of wooden bridge. They just did one out by Scio. But one of the things that they mentioned to us is that we want to keep water out of it.
Right.
Let the water be on the exterior, not on the interior. Right now, that's exposed, and that water that gets inside is what's caused a lot of that damage. And so, if you go and look at any of the counties' wooden bridges, you'll see a lot of them are enclosed, at least the sides.
Okay.
It kind of protects it a little bit more.
Where was that one at that you said that they just did?
It's on Richardson Gap, just past 226. Is it 226? Yeah. It's like if you're heading to Staten on
Yeah.
Richardson's Gap. Like you pass the turn that goes to Staten or
Right.
Scio.
It's right before that really, really steep hill that you have to go up.
The Shemetica Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. The one you're supposed to do 30 across.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen that sign. Got it.
Was Weddell Bridge originally enclosed, or does anybody know from the old
I
pictures?
think it's just like it was.
It always looked like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So, I can't remember, but Angela, did you tell us once that the Rotary said something about they would help, but they wanted to change the name? Or is that just a dream I had?
No, while I was there, they threw out some ideas. They just asked if someone donated a large enough amount, if that was a possibility. So, and nothing's off the table, Wally, unless you have, I know I haven't reached out to find out if it's a big deal to change the name or not. So, but that is something that we can look at depending on where funding comes from, just like anything else.
Yeah, and that's why I did the research to the history back to the bridge to see if there's somebody here named Weddell that owns it, the name still. And
Well, there
you know,
was a Weddell in Sweet Home.
yeah, but that was somebody that lived somewhere else, and then they just bought the farm where it was at, and it was already there before they moved it. So
Of course, when you think about changing the name of the bridge, that bridge is embedded in a lot of books, historically, so someone comes to Sweet Home looking for the Weddell Bridge, and now it's the Smith's Bridge. I mean,
it's the
a
Smith
lot of
Bridge,
literature.
formerly named Weddell.
but there's a lot of documentation out there with the Weddell on it.
Yeah.
So, Wally or Angela, so I don't know, did they say why they wanted to change the name?
No, they said that if somebody wanted to give, and I'll just throw out $100,000
Okay.
in it, would you be willing to change the name for that? And
No, they can be on a plaque,
we agreed that we would look into it. That was
A
it.
donor plaque.
a donor plaque.
Just as an option.
There was no,
Okay.
there was no promises or confirmation
No.
that they would be allowed to do that. We just said that we would look into options, not that we would promise any of that. So,
It's a lot like,
considering the history and exactly what Bob said, there's a lot of documentation referencing it as Weddell Bridge. So it would be difficult to be able to do it that way. But, we haven't looked into it to find out for sure what that would, entail.
definitely didn't want to start with the answer of no. So,
They could
Good
put their
idea.
name on a new pavilion.
yeah, that's what I say. We were just going to say that, we talked about the community center there. If somebody wanted to donate a bunch, could it be called their name? My answer is please.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at on Weddell Bridge.
Hear you.
Is it in any near term, like, chance of it really falling down, falling apart, somebody falling through? it looked to me, I've walked across it quite a few times recently and it looks fine.
I am not an engineer.
Yeah.
But according to that report, that they did not want vehicles on it
Yeah.
out of its weight. You're allowed to have up to, I believe, 50 people at one point.
Right.
And so I don't think there's a near future, unless something falls on it or hits it, that it's just going to fall. We may lose a piece of timber, but it's not all going to come
Yeah.
down. But I think we know where the weaknesses are and what we need to do. And
Yeah.
so I don't see that in the immediate future unless we
Yeah.
push the envelopes and put something, vehicle on it or did
Oh, no.
something like that.
I was just talking about people walking across, falling through. When I went across it, I really, looked and was like, well, it seems pretty solid for foot traffic in general.
The
Not,
recommendation was 50 people.
yeah, not
by
mass
the
foot traffic, but just in general, people stopping by, they're not going to have a problem.
So Sean,
And
have you
people-
seen any graffiti or anything, kids messing with it anymore?
It's fairly regular, yeah. And we'll wipe it off or paint it over. A lot of times it's on camera, so we'll get the PD involved and they'll go from there.
But they're not taking sledgehammers underneath or anything like that? Okay,
That's good.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that means we're doing better than Albuquerque.
Yeah.
They got to bring the military in just to save the police. There's some kids are so bad down there. So Sweet Home again. Doing good. All right. That takes care of Whittle Bridge. Let's move on to new business. Buttons.
So we, because we can't, we have ordered buttons that will say Park and Tree Committee on them. So you will have something that differentiates you from general public. I'm not sure if those have come in yet or not, but that is being ordered so that you have something that signifies who you are when you're at events.
Okay.
They're not in yet, but they have been ordered.
Okay.
So I have a question. Before, when we got our t-shirts and our jackets, so was the budget much different back then that you guys could afford t-shirts? I'm looking at anybody that knows anything. Sorry.
Well, I don't think, yes, the budget was different, but it's also a matter of, and I don't know, Adam or Cecily, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just use of city logos. And so we're just trying to make sure that everything's being used properly. But yes, budget is very tight right now, very tight. So.
Yeah, so just to add to that, I can't speak to prior budgets because I was not involved in those, but part of it is also a parity issue with our other committees. Our other committees, most of them don't have budgets at all, so it would not really be fair to our other committees to brand Park and Tree differently than the other committees. And we're not in a position right now where we can use general fund monies to add that to all the committees. So that's why we went with the low cost button option this year.
Okay. So I have an option to it. I'll get with you guys later on that.
Okay.
All right.
But we get a button.
Yep. Any other business? It's quiet. Anything from the city council? No? I haven't been to a city council meeting in a while because I'm the lone wolf that lives outside the city. Does the Park and Tree stuff come up fairly often in the meetings?
Not a whole lot.
There's a
just kind
report
of
out
some
like-
updates, yeah, after the meeting.
Yeah.
I would like to say something to that because I do try to go to some city council meetings. So, so I know the council can read the minutes, just like people online can listen and watch and all that kind of stuff. But I would really encourage you to give a report at the city council meeting. Just tell them how awesome this group is and and the work. I'm not tooting our own horn, but we do. There's a lot of work that goes on. And I think, they probably know because I know a lot of them go to the meetings and Harvest Festival and stuff like that. And I think the public should know too, because obviously there's a lot of public that comes to city council meetings. Anyway, that's just.
Nancy,
I just think
just so you know, I upload the Park and Tree Committee minutes and any other kind of information that goes with Park and Tree Committee to the city council packet. So they can read anything in there all through our meetings. And so those now get uploaded into their packets. So they have it. Well, we only have meetings once a month for Park and Tree Committee. So it's usually the latter meeting or depending on when our meetings follow their meetings, depending on what agenda it gets on. So they do get all the information from our meetings. So, and Aaron has spoken, Council Haggy, sorry, Aaron, has, spoken on some of our events. So we are providing the information for them, and I will be providing the flyer for them also.
Sure.
I do understand that. I know you do a good job at that, Angela. I think a lot of it is for the public to hear, because, obviously not everybody reads the New Era. Not everybody is on Facebook. So a lot of times people actually don't know what's going on. And a lot of times they'll just complain and, say, no, these things are moving forward. And anyway, just.
Is your meeting next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So my only request of you is please invite all the counselors to the Harbor Day
sure.
event
Yep.
personally, so that they get that little nudge.
Yeah.
And also ask them to read the New Era. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, when will we be able to pick up the flyers to hand out to the city for the Arbor Day?
I'll make copies of them and
Good.
I can give them to you today.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yeah, so if we can get the flyers out, and I will today, or I'm lying, I won't, I'll do it this week. I'll get started posting it out on social media for people. If the rest of you want to do the same, I have 7 friends on Facebook, so it doesn't go far, but
So
On the
We've
city,
been
on the
posting
city
it,
web.
and we
Oh,
also
sorry.
have
Yeah.
an event
Finds it out a
created.
lot.
yep, I see it there.
So
My 7 friends aren't with you guys, so
You need better friends.
I know.
yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, Wally, do you want us to divide the downtown so we can go door to door? I mean, Ashley Ashley's not here, but
Business to business.
we'll do it. Put it up in the businesses if they'll let us.
Yeah, I think that all of us should get some flyers and go and attempt to do that, period. It's strange. I've had really mixed luck going into
Yeah,
places.
some of them don't let you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's Safeway.
Yeah.
Well, they have a
I've had that
board.
experience.
Yeah,
They have a board like in their lunchroom or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it goes in the lunchroom.
yeah. And Thriftway let me put it on a bulletin board on the
Right.
back of the back register.
But,
Which
but
I
I mean, do you want us to like say different sections, or so we're not all doing the same?
Like we did last year.
yes, that's a good idea.
One person started at Foster and one, we just kind of kept in contact with each other. So we knew where which sections had been dropped off the
Sure.
flyers and which hadn't.
So how do we want to, I don't remember that. So how did we
Okay.
do it?
We can talk about that after the meeting.
Okay. Yep.
Nancy, do you want to see possibly if maybe like the charter school would give the flyers out to students? I know they've done that for other communities.
Yeah, they will. Sure, they will.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
almost
good idea.
positive they will. Yeah,
Good idea.
she's really good about that.
Hey, Amber, just real quick, I
Mhm.
just sent the flyer to the big printer.
Okay.
It may or may not send it from here, so you might go check the big printer first to see if it actually went before you go
Okay.
check your email and print it. So it says it went through, so we'll see it. You might already have some printed.
Okay.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay.
Technology is amazing.
And I'll work with Lena on the presentation for that day, being the 38th year, if there's anything specific with that. Yeah, I know. It's usually pretty easy. I look up a bunch of stuff on the internet and it all ties together. It's like, oh, I didn't know about all that. So I ended up learning a lot every year we do this by doing research. And so. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
present.
was Jason Ogden going to be able to make it to the 26th on the
Yeah,
20th?
yeah,
Okay,
he said he would be there. He
excellent.
just doesn't want to present the,
Okay.
whatever it's called, proclamation.
Proclamation, yeah.
Yeah, which I don't care about doing that. That's easy. Aaron and I will stand up there and do that.
There
Okay,
they are.
any other new business?
Wow.
Now that we have flyers,
Thanks, Angela. It worked.
Thank you.
thank you. You're magic. All right. Well, this was a quick meeting, which I expected since we have a big event coming up and we're pretty well set up for that. So, our next get together will be 11 o'clock
Mhm.
over at, Sankey Park. If you get there a few minutes early, that's totally okay. We'll go pull some ivy, so bring your gloves and tools and, we'll get that down. I know it's going to sound weird, but I'd like to make sure that we have our mess that we make from that could be somewhere visible. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was expecting
on
you
the
to
movie?
say.
Yeah, I
To
don't want
show
to
the
make it
work.
disappear because I want to talk about it. Like, we came here today to do part of our work as a committee. So that's what we do. And there's the ivy that we removed from the trees today and then talk about how ivy does things. But it's one thing to have something to point at and say, hey, we did this versus, well, we did something over there and you can't see it.
What are we doing?
It just looks better.
Yeah. It'll be in the back of the park's pickup. So we'll
Okay,
probably have
perfect.
A good pickup load and
Yep.
can have that parked nearby.
Sure. All right.
I will find you some facts about English ivy then.
Okay,
Okay.
good. All right. So I'll say that concludes our Park and Tree Committee meeting for April 16th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll touch base when I get back.